Animals need to reproduce to pass on their genes. To do this, they need to find a mate. A mating system describes the social and sexual relations the majority of individuals in the population or species have with each other. And there is striking variation in these systems across the animal kingdom. Mating systems can range from highly monogamous, faithful pairs who stay together for life, like this albatross, or highly promiscuous systems, like these bonobos, where individuals have several sexual partners without specific pair bonding. But what determines which kind of mating system dominates in a particular population or species? The main distinction is between monogamy, one partner, and polygamy, multiple partners, and the different forms of polygamy. We talk about monogamy when two individuals of opposite sex form a social pair bond, and usually also raise their young together. Such social monogamy can last for just one breeding season, but pairs may also stay together for longer, even for their whole life. This mating system is very common in birds, but very rare in mammals. But socially monogamous pairs are not necessarily also monogamous in their choice of reproductive partners. For instance, in the majority of socially monogamous bird species, some offspring are not sired by the social partner, but result from extra-pair matings. This is evolutionary adaptive as it allows both sexes to produce genetically more diverse offspring or to correct to some extent when the social mate turns out not to be the optimal match, or, usually for males, to produce more offspring. In many animals, specifically in mammals, we find polygamous mating systems, where individuals hold social and sexual bonds to several individuals of the opposite sex. There are different kinds of polygamous mating systems, depending on which sex has multiple partners. Most common is polygamy, where one male monopolizes several females, often forming a kind of a harem system. This system is quite common in mammals where females invest heavily in reproducing offspring, such as in many antelopes and primates, like in these hamadryas baboons. But there are also many polygynous bird species. Another form of polygamy is polyandry, in which females hold strong social and sexual bonds with several males. This is rather rare, but can evolve when females need to spread out offspring and individuals caring for them are limited. Tamarins are a good example for this, where a female has, so to speak, a male harem, who all help raising the young. Sometimes polygamy and polyandry is even combined so that we find so-called polygynandric mating systems, where two or more individuals hold strong social and sexual bonds with two or more individuals of the opposite sex. This usually occurs when neither sex can prevent the partner from having additional partners. And then there are systems where no sex can monopolize the other, so that both sexes have sexual relations to several other individuals. These are called promiscuous mating systems. And a good example for these are the bonobos we have seen at the beginning of this lecture. Ultimately, which mating system evolves will depend on the cost and benefit for the different sexes within each of these systems. In general, the mating system is largely determined by the distribution of resources. Are resources like food, breeding sites, or shelter clumped, like here on the left side? Or are they spread out, like on the right side? Knowing resource distributions often even allow us to already make predictions about which kind of mating system can we expect to be dominating. Males can often potentially produce more offspring, so when resources are clumped and females need to gather for finding food or breeding, we find that males tend to monopolize several females, like indicated by these red circles, leading to a polygynous system. In contrast, when resources are more equally spread out, no individual can monopolize several others, so we are more likely to find monogamous mating systems. The level of parental care also affects which mating system is more likely to evolve. Are both parents essential to raise young, only one, or is no parental care required at all? Where both parents are essential, like in many bird species, we often find monogamy, while in many mammals, where males provide less or no parental care, we are more likely to find polygynous mating systems. And also the fertilization mode plays a role. Whether individuals can monopolize matings changes when eggs are fertilized internally, like in birds or mammals, compared to externally, like in fish or frogs. What makes these mating systems so fascinating is that there are often different forms within the same species. It is not something static, but a dynamic outcome of how different interests of the sexes and individuals are solved. Some species even show all the different kinds of mating systems, like this pokako. So mating systems are the outcome of how conflicts over reproduction are solved, and understanding the biology of the species and the resources and the distribution allows us to understand the selection pressure and why we find this fascinating variation in mating systems in the animal kingdom.